What Kolbe was able to accomplish in terms of bringing these men who had lost all humanity in this camp into fighting to make their last days count, that he was able to accomplish that, I think, is a miracle, and is a miracle that I am incredibly interested in bringing to the screen.
Anthony D'Ambrosio is going to be on. There is a brand new Saint Maximilian Kolbe film called The Triumph of the Heart, and he's already filmed it. Now he's asking for some financial help to help him finish the deal, but it looks promising. It looks really good, actually.
By the way, my name is Joe McLean. I host a radio program called A Catholic Take, where we look at the world through a Catholic lens. I'd love for you to hang out with us. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and let us know what you think in the comments below.
Hey, I uncovered this Kickstarter campaign. It's called Triumph of the Heart, and we're going to be linking to this Kickstarter campaign over in our show notes at thestationofthecross.com/ACT. But the man behind it all, Anthony D'Ambrosio, is here. He's the storyteller, writer, director, marketing specialist from Dallas, Texas. Anthony D'Ambrosio, good morning to you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super pumped to be here.
I'm a big fan of Saint Maximilian Kolbe. I mean, I have a strong devotion to him. I absolutely try to devour whatever I find on him. And when it comes to especially to films, I'm really going to be keen on that. So when I saw yours, I got really, really excited. Right out of the gate, the one thing that caught my attention was you went and filmed it, and then you came back and asked for money. I love that. So tell me about your project.
That is so fun. Yeah. So we've got a movie cooking. We went and shot it. It's in post-production right now. So we went to Poland, to Kolbe's hometown, and we really went out there in faith, knowing that we had a story and a call from God to tell his story, and didn't really know exactly how it all come about, but God provided. God brought us amazing people and amazing opportunities, locations, beautiful costumes, and we were really setting out to try to tell Kolbe's story in a way that nobody had seen before, that nobody had heard of before, that really went into kind of the untold and unseen and perhaps misunderstood parts of his life, and particularly the passion of Kolbe.
One of the things I got from your trailer was, who are the other people in the cell with him? I heard you say that in this video on your Kickstarter campaign. Tell me about that aspect.
I think that many of us know the story of Kolbe from the perspective of Francis Guy Nietzsche, the man he saved. I think that perspective is a really valid way to talk about Kolbe's story. I think that what is more interesting, at least to me, is what did God do for those men who didn't get saved in the more traditional sense of the word? 90% of us don't get those sorts of miracles and interventions that Guy Nietzsche got. For these 9 other men who he joined, he was saving their souls too, just in a different way. What Kolbe was able to accomplish in terms of bringing these men who had lost all humanity in this darkest part of this camp into fighting to make their last days count, to forge a brotherhood of hope with each other, and to be a witness to the other people in Auschwitz of faith and hope. That he was able to accomplish that, I think, is a miracle, and is a miracle that I am incredibly interested in investigating and bringing to the screen.
Tell me about your cast. Who's playing Saint Maximilian Kolbe in this film?
So our cast is a combination of Poles and English and Serbs and Ukrainians and Americans. It's really kind of an amazing example and witness to the global church coming together. Kolbe's devotion is spread so far and wide that people from all over the world really wanted to be considered for different roles. So our Kolbe is actually a man who I met in Poland, who was an actor, a very well-known actor in the Polish world, and who ultimately had a struggle with alcoholism that led him back to the church, and through his struggle with addiction was really adopted in many ways by Saint Maximilian Kolbe. And he had just done a couple of different plays about Maximilian Kolbe, and wow. He's a celebrity in Poland, so it was a really big stretch to bring him on board, but because of his love for Kolbe, he decided to do it. All of them had to lose weight and to shave their heads. Really difficult things to ask actors to do, but they were really moved by the story and wanted to accurately represent it. So they all went on starvation diets, and there was something really powerful about the brotherhood that's built by literally starving together. It was an incredible deprivation and really separated us from kind of the rest of the people around. It really forged a certain amount of connection and connectivity to each other. I think that that's part of what this movie is about, is what God can do in terms of bringing love about when people embrace their crosses together.
Who is the actor who played Carl Fritz? Who played the bad guy, and what was that like for them to have to get into the mind of a very demented person?
It's a really interesting question, actually, because he is the sweetest guy. He was actually one of the first actors that we found and who came to us. I could pull up the picture of Fritz and put them side by side, and you might have trouble figuring out which one was which.
Wow.
No joke. He was perhaps like one of the most passionate supporters of the project.
Especially as a Catholic, you don't want to like emulate evil. Carl Fritz was evil. He even helped to bring about the whole gas aspect of eliminating the Jews in the camps, because before that they were shooting them and they didn't want to waste any more bullets. They needed that for the war. Isn't that the case? I mean, that's pretty evil.
There's such an intense, like, very clearly demonic evil that this man sort of brought to the camp. So one of the things that he did was, during Christmas, he would bring out a large Christmas tree in front of the prisoner bunkers and put the bodies of the dead underneath it, and play Silent Night, so that in this sort of demonic mockery of Christmas for them. And so I think that part of what is so significant about what Kolbe did was he was standing for humanity. More than just saving Francis Gajnicek's life, he was showing these people who were under such incredible trauma and that there was still goodness in the world. And when you're living in such a place of blackness and darkness, even just a small act of charity, it was restorative and healing, and reminded them that there might be something else out there, that God might be with them still, etc. Something else out there beyond all this darkness.
When do you anticipate completing your edit and sound design, all of that stuff?
So right now we're in what you call post-production, bringing all of that together into a 1.5 hour story that then has sound design added to it, that has visual effects added to it, that has music composed, and that all coming together is what actually makes the movie. It's actually perhaps the longest, most time-consuming and difficult part of the process. We knew that we didn't have enough funds to do post-production. We actually spent all the money that we had raised on our production. So we're right now in the process of running this Kickstarter to bring other people from the grassroots Catholic community who want to see this story made on board, perhaps as partners, as producers, to help us make the film happen.
Is there any reference to the two hearts in this film?
There is actually the scene in the film where he is given the 2 crowns by Mary, and we actually used Our Lady of Czestochowa, which is sort of like the Polish Our Lady of Guadalupe, as the person of devotion who gives him the crowns. And so there's a really beautiful but very surreal and kind of mystical vision dream sequence where we return to that while we're in the cell. So
that's exciting.
I look forward to seeing that scene.
Distribution tends to be one of the biggest obstacles in the whole process. So what is your plan for distribution?
Right. What we've seen in the last 3 years with Angel Studios putting out The Chosen and Sound of Freedom, and now Mother Cabrini, we're really seeing that they're open to putting forward Catholic content, and not just that they are, but because they're proving that there's a market that actually desires it. Because with film, distributing film is a massive risk. If you're talking about a theatrical release, perhaps, I've heard many different averages, but we're talking maybe $15 million to do a theatrical release for a film on average. So
wow.
We are going to, we're going to these different places now with the Kickstarter data saying, hey, we have a grassroots movement of people who want to see this film. This is the proof that you can expect to see a return and people to show up.
Did you like that video? It's okay. You can admit it. It's perfectly fine. Hey, we cover the big stories of our day, from inside the church to outside the church to all points in between, and we do it from a Catholic perspective. It's called A Catholic Take. It's a radio program Monday through Friday. We live stream it right here on this channel, by the way, so make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We would be very grateful to you. And don't forget, you're going to want to watch this video right here because you don't want to miss anything.